Good morning, everybody. Dr. JJ Levine here, president of Esante Organics. And today I want to talk to you about the scientific benefits of insisting on organic products. You know, in a world full of choices, making the deliberate decision to go organic isn't just a preference, it's a commitment backed by robust research that impacts our health, the environment, and even future generations. And I get inspired, I get fired up to make a quick presentation like this when I see people marketing, companies marketing on social media about how great their products are. And, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's good marketing, but the products aren't organic. But they talk about purity, how natural, how this, how that their products are. But these are non-regulated terms. They're duping the public. And I don't know about you, I don't like getting duped. I want to know the truth. So I'm always here to share the science with you. So let's start with the core health advantages of going organic. One of the most compelling reasons to insist on organic is the significant reduction in exposure to synthetic pesticides and chemicals. Like, duh, obviously, right? We know that. Conventional farming often relies on these substances which linger, fester on our produce and our other ingredients, and science has proven these ingredients enter our body and our bloodstream. And studies show that switching to organic ingredients dramatically lowers the pesticide residues in your urine and blood by up to 90% in just a few days. So, you know, let's say you're 20 years old, 40 years old, 60 years old, 80 years old, 90 years old, and you've never used organic products before. You've never bought organic produce and organic foods before. It's never too late. You can make an instant change. But of course, the earlier you and your loved ones make the change, the better. And this matters because pesticides scientifically have been linked, proven to cause neurodevelopmental issues in children and increased cancer risks in adults. So we all know that we shouldn't be smoking, right? Because there's a correlation, a link scientifically to smoking as well as lung cancer. We all know that. Well, we're all starting to learn now because we all have access to the internet, we all have cell phones, and I'm sharing this information here. You are going to increase your risk of horrific consequences if you're not using organic. It's very, very important, especially with products that you're using every single day. There's research from the Mayo Clinic that highlights people consuming the highest amount of organic foods and ingredients have fewer cases of non-Hodgkin lymphoma. And of course, this is a type of cancer linked to chemical exposure. Now, beyond avoiding harms, organic products deliver superior nutritional profiles. I'm going to be doing a Zoom presentation tonight. It'll be about 10 minutes. You're on this channel now, the Esante Difference, this page, this group. So the information's on there. I invite you to join me tonight, 5:30 Arizona time. Like I said, 10, 15 minutes tops. Where I've been, and tonight's no difference, I'm going to be sharing the research that proves that it's not just a choice to go organic and toxic-free. Organic products give you more bang for the buck. They're more potent. So again, when I'm seeing these oil companies and these other companies on social media advertising their products and whatnot, and they've got their bots and people giving testimonials, I mean, that's all well and good. But if they're not organic, they're not giving the consumer the best products, period. Again, this isn't hyperbole, this isn't my opinion, this is science. Okay, Harvard reports higher contents of vitamin C, iron, magnesium, and phosphorus in organic crops with lower levels of harmful nitrates and cadmium, which is a toxic heavy metal. And these micronutrient boosts aren't just trivial. They contribute to better immune function and overall vitality. A comprehensive analysis even linked regular organic consumption of ingredients and products to reduce obesity, lower body mass index, and improve blood nutrient composition. And for pregnant individuals and families, and I just became a recent grandfather, there's my grandson Milo, the benefits extend further. Multiple studies indicate that insisting on organic can lower the risks of congenital malformations and other developmental issues in offspring, likely due to minimized chemical exposure during the critical growth periods. Remember, when a baby is created, it's created from two cells, the the mother's egg cell and the father's sperm cell, 2 cells. And those 2 cells are going to divide and replicate and divide and replicate and divide and replicate. So from those 2 cells, you're eventually going to be a full-grown human being made of trillions of cells. So early on in pregnancy, especially the first few days, if not the first few months, if your baby is exposed to chemicals as those early cells are dividing and dividing, that can have a profound negative consequence on the rest of the cells as they grow. Going back 30 years ago, 31 years ago, my son, who's the father of that child, who's now 30 years old, when my wife was pregnant, she didn't use hair color, makeup, nothing. And we were only eating organic vegan foods. It was that important to us. And then we delivered our son at home, where people are cranking and twisting on the baby's neck, but that's a whole nother story. And I could give you a whole nother story about he's never had a pill, powder, potion, lotion, vaccination, antibiotics, salve cream, nothing. And yet he's 30 years old, went through school, totally fine. And I would put his health record up against a pediatrician child's health record any day of the week. But I'm getting off track here. So the body of evidence, including long-term epidemiological studies, the advantages in reduced toxins, enhanced micronutrient, and environmental sustainability tip the scales firmly, huge, towards organic. So this is just a short message I wanted to come on. I get fired up when I see this marketing on and offline about how pure and how great some of these products are, but they're not using organic. And here's the truth of it. When a company creates a product, you've heard me say it before, you'll hear me say it now, you'll hear me say it again. When a company makes a product, they have the same decisions to make as we do at Asante Organics, to use organic or conventional ingredients. And if they're not using certified organic ingredients, there's only one reason, period, because it increases profitability. It's more expensive to do so. If they're using toxic ingredients, which is all over the place, sadly. They're using toxic ingredients, toxic preservatives, toxic fillers, toxic colors. There's only one reason why they're doing it. It increases profitability. Everything we do at Asante Organics with our over 100 and something products, we make with certified organic and toxic-free plants, and minerals. That is it. And then our products are guaranteed to work as well, if not better, than the toxic products, the non-organic products. So you've got nothing to lose. And remember, our products are highly concentrated. So a little bit goes a long way. And the science that I shared with you today, as well as the science I'm going to share with you tonight on the Zoom call, it's sometimes up to 30% or more higher in bioavailability and purity and scientific benefits when you have organic ingredients. So again, please, anyone you care about, don't let them get duped by how great marketing is, how pure their oils are, how wonderful their ingredients are and products are and this and that. Science is science. Insist on organic. So as always, I look forward to sharing with you again. It'll be tonight for 10 minutes on our Zoom call. So please join us, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.